Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the local bourse that has traded rather flat today, dipping slightly into the red. Even though it did get a mostly green handover from the Asian markets, this amid some disappointing factory activity and industrial profit data from China today. Looking at that, the all-share declining by just over 0.1%. Those losses largely coming from the Resources 10 complex. We have seen those being hammered. Last time I checked, Anglo-American was down the most by about 5%. The Resources 10 complex, they're declining by more than 1.5%. Financial 15, they're seeing a dip of more than 0.33%, but backing that trend is the Industrial 25 with a gain of more than 1%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets, and we are seeing quite a heavy slump in the tech sector there. And of course, China having a lot to do with it. Chinese startup DeepSeek has really started raising questions about the cost of AI investment and the dominance of these US AI stocks. Are seeing a sea of red on that front. Of course, the tech-heavy Nasdaq taking the most pain, taking a nosedive there of almost 3%. The S&P 500 with a loss of more than 1.5%, and the Dow dipping by just over 0.1%. Let's take a look at the European markets. We are seeing mostly red, but a mixed picture on that front. The FTSE 100 being the only bourse in green territory, up almost 0.1%. Those losses that we are seeing largely coming from the DAX declining almost 0.4%, and the CAC 40 shedding 0.13%. Let's take a look at the currency scene and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Quite some pain there on the rand. Of course, it had been hovering at around 18 rand 50 against the US dollar for about a week or so, but now seeing a heavy knock there of almost 2% at 18 rand 70 against the US dollar. Against the pound standing at 23 rand 34, and against the euro at 19 rand 65. Let's check in on the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.05, pound dollar at 1.24, and the yen just above 154 against the US dollar.